The American flag has 13 stripes and 50 stars. You know how I know that? Because Pocket Ronnie helped me with my numbers.
Okay, we're going to be talking about number lines today. Here you have a number line. It's just a straight line, and here's 0. To the right you count up positive numbers. To the left you're counting negative numbers. Okay, so always to the right is positive and always to the left is negative. Here in the problem, this says plot all the values of x. You need to know how to be able to read this symbol. This symbol reads as less than or equal to 1.7. You know how to read this. Maybe either your mom taught you about the alligator eating the larger number. Well, here we have an unknown on one side and a number on the other side. So the way you read this, we read from left to right. So if I read from left to right, I get to the smaller side first. So that is less than. So when you plot these values, first you have to be able to plot 1.7 on the number line. So if you go down, here's 1, then 2, so 1.7 is going to be between 1 and 2, somewhere closer to 2, about right there. But you need to know how to put a mark on here. When you use less than or equal to, if you come over here, these symbols, this reads greater than, this reads less than. When you have greater than or less than with no equal sign, you use an open circle to plot your point. When you use a greater than and equal to or less than equal to, you use a closed circle. The reason you use a closed circle, since it can be equal to that number, that means you are including that number. When you have an open circle, it means you are not including that specific number. So let's go back to our problem. We have x is less than or equal to 1.7. So since we have an equal to symbol, we need to use a closed circle, meaning we are including 1.7. So you go find 1.7 on your number line, you put in a circle, but then you close it in because that means we are including that number. So that's 1.7. We want all values less than and equal to. The closed circle shows we're equal to 1.7. We want everything less than, so you draw a line going to the left because that's everything less than with an arrow. This shows everything to the left is less than 1.7. 1 is less than 1.7. 0 is less than 1.7. Negative 1, negative 2, all negative numbers is less than 1.7. Alright, let's go to number 23. By the way, we are on page 5B. I didn't tell you that. We are on 5B. Okay, this is number 23. So we want to plot all the values of x. This reads greater than. The bigger we get to the bigger opening first, so it's greater than 3.9. So you find 3.9. That's going to be in between 3 and 4, closer to 4. We want greater than. So we are not going to include 3.9. This is not greater than or equal to, so we do not have a closed circle. Since we are not including 3.9, we have an open circle. Remember, greater than or less than is an open circle. So we're going to put a point right here at 3.9, and we're going to use an open circle to show we are not including 3.9. We want all values greater than 3.9, so we want everything bigger than. So you draw a darkened line going to the right with your arrow, and you double check, are all the numbers where you have drawn, are they bigger than 3.9? Yes, they are. Okay, so now we're going to go to page A. We are on 5A, and we are looking at number 24. This says plot all values of x less than or equal to negative pi. First off, you have less than or equal to, so you need to know what kind of circle to use. Since we have equal to the value, we want to include this number, so we will use a closed circle. And you need to know to read this is less than or equal to negative pi. Well, determine what is your value of pi. pi is 3.14. That's good enough to use for here. We want negative that, so negative 3.14. So go plot negative 3.14 on your number line. Here's 0, negative 1, negative 2, negative 3. We want negative 3.1, so we are past negative 3, so somewhere like right in here, and we want to be equal to that, so we close the circle. Okay, we want all values less than that. Okay, less than or equal to means everything to the left. Less than is to the left, because everything to the left will be smaller. When you're dealing with smaller than negative, meaning more in debt. Negative 5 is smaller, or you can think of it as more in debt than negative 3. So you draw your darkened line this way with your arrow. Any value negative, like negative 10, negative 20, negative 100, we are more in debt than negative 3.14. So your arrow gets drawn to the left.